When, where and how to see the planets in the 2020 night sky.
What's up for January? Morning meteors, Mars meets its rival, and the Moon comes around for another visit with Venus. The early morning of January 4th brings the peak of the quadrantid meteor shower. This annual shower can be one of the better ones of the year, although it has a much shorter peak than most other meteor showers, just a few hours versus a day or two. The visibility of meteor showers from year to year has a lot to do with whether there's a bright moon in the sky at the time or not. This year, the moon will set soon after midnight local time, meaning viewing conditions should be good provided your local skies are not obscured by winter weather. Face toward the northeast between midnight and dawn to see as many as 24 meteors per hour under dark skies, and the farther away you get from city lights, the darker it'll be. So bundle up and be sure to give your eyes a little time to adapt to the dark, including a break from your mobile device, in order to see the maximum number of meteors. Mars rises before dawn during January with its rival, the red giant star Antares. The name of this star translates as rival to Mars in ancient Greek, and the star rivals the red planet's appearance to the unaided eye, both in color and brightness. In reality, Antares is way, way bigger than Mars. In fact, it's much bigger than the orbit of Mars. It's about 10,000 times brighter than our Sun, but it's also 16 million times farther away from us than Mars is. So, like all stars, even though it's really bright, it appears as just a tiny, flickering point of light in the night sky. You can view the pair low in the southeast about an hour before sunrise each morning. Near the beginning of January, Mars appears above Antares. As the days progress, the planet moves lower and to the east of Antares. They're joined by a slim lunar crescent on January 20th for what should be a very pretty grouping. And as we start 2020, NASA's looking forward to the launch of the Mars 2020 rover mission. It's slated to blast off in July to seek signs of ancient life in a fossilized river delta on the red planet. Closing out the month, the crescent moon and Venus once again make for a gorgeous sight at the end of January on the same day of the month as they did back in December. On January 28th, you'll find the pair hovering in the southwest in the hour or so after sunset that evening, so be sure to go out and take a look. Here are the phases of the moon for January. You can catch up on all of NASA's current and future missions at nasa.gov. I'm Preston Dykes from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month.
Wondering when you'll be able to see the planets at their best during 2020? Well, we've got you covered in this annual night sky guide. It will also provide information as to when a particular planet might be passing near to another, or a bright star, as well as the constellation that each will occupy during the course of the year, as well as the various circumstances, conjunctions, oppositions, and elongations that are on this upcoming year's schedule. So buckle up and mark your 2020 calendars. Here are the amazing planet sights to look for this year. Mercury. The smallest of the planets visible to the naked eye will be an evening star, appears in the western sky setting about an hour after the sun. As a morning star, it appears in the eastern sky rising about an hour before the sun. There must be a clear, unobstructed horizon on these occasions. Mercury usually appears as a bright star with a yellowish or ochre hue, but depending on the time of year, the planet is best sighted in the evening just after sunset or morning just before sunrise. Below is a guide to the year. Evenings, January 26th to February 16. Mornings, March 17th to April 7th. Evenings, May 21st to June 11th. Mornings, July 15th to August 1st. Evenings, September 17th to October 8th. Mornings, November 3rd to November 22nd. Mercury will be brightest and easiest to spot in the evening skies of 2020 from January 26th to February 16, and brightest and easiest to spot in the morning skies of 2020 from November 3rd to November 22nd. Mercury will appear very close to the bluish star Spica on September 22nd. Venus. The planet with the nearly circular orbit and a diameter only about 400 miles (600 kilometers) less than the Earth is always brilliant, and shining with a steady, silvery light. Evenings in the western sky at dusk from January 1st to May 24th, mornings in the eastern sky at dawn from June 13th to December 31st. The best time to view Venus in the evening sky in 2020 will come between the time of its greatest angular distance elongation east of the Sun on March 24th and its greatest brilliancy on April 27th. On the latter date it will shine at an eye-popping magnitude of -4.7. The best time to view Venus in the morning sky in 2020 will come between the time of its greatest brilliancy on July 10th and its greatest angular distance western elongation from the Sun on August 13th. On the former date, it will again shine at a dazzling magnitude of -4.7. Venus will appear exceedingly close to Neptune on January 27th, close to Mercury on May 22nd, and exceedingly close less than 0.2 of a degree from the bluish-white star Regulus on October 2nd. Venus and a slender crescent moon will make for a lovely celestial tableau in the dawn skies of June 19th. Mars, shining like a star with a yellow-orange hue, can vary considerably in brightness. It will be visible before dawn in the mornings from January 1st to October 12th, and then in the evenings from October 13th to December 31st. Brightest in 2020, Mars will be at its brightest from October 4th to October 17th. As was the case in 2018, this is a spectacular year for Mars. On October 6th at 10:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the planet will be at its closest to Earth in 2020. At that moment it will be 38.57 million miles (62.06 million kilometers) away. Mars will start the year in the morning sky in Libra the scales, rising soon after 4 a.m. At that time Mars will be 202.7 million miles (326.2 million kilometers) away, and ranking as just a second magnitude object. But it will be approaching Earth at an average of 572,000 miles (920,000 kilometers) per day and consequently will be getting slowly brighter. After May 15th, Mars's increase in brightness will start becoming more noticeable. By June 1st it will reach 0 magnitude while cruising through Aquarius the water carrier, shining low in the southeast sky during the pre-dawn hours. On August 21st, now in the constellation Pisces the Fishes, it will rival Sirius, the brightest of all stars, rising above the eastern horizon around 10:15 p.m. So bright does it become that between September 29th and October 28th it will supplant mighty Jupiter as the second brightest planet and become the third brightest object in the nighttime sky, next to the Moon and Venus. Mars arrives at opposition to the Sun on October 13th, still in Pisces, visible from dusk to dawn and shining at a head-turning magnitude of -2.7, more than 3 times brighter than Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. After reaching this pinnacle, Mars will recede from Earth and gradually become dimmer through the balance of the year. By New Year's Eve, Mars will shine at a still brilliant magnitude of -0.2 in eastern Pisces, northwest of the 4th magnitude star Al-Risha, which represents the knot that ties the two fish together by ribbons at their tails. Mars finishes out the year crossing the meridian just before 7 p.m. and setting in the west around 1:30 a.m. On February 18th, a waning crescent moon will be very close to Mars, and across the western half of North America the moon will appear to hide Mars before sunrise. Mars will pass close to Jupiter on May 20th and to Saturn on May 31st. A waning gibbous moon will appear close to Mars late on the night of September 5th. Jupiter. In the night sky, Jupiter will look quite brilliant with a silver-white luster. It will be visible in the mornings from January 15th to July 13th, evenings from July 14th to December 31st. Through most of 2020, the king of the planets will be situated against the star background of Sagittarius, the Archer, where it will remain until mid-December, then it will move into the boundaries of the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. Jupiter will shine like a dazzling, non-twinkling, silvery star. Brightest in 2020, July 11th to July 16th. Jupiter is at opposition to the Sun on July 14th. Jupiter will appear close to Mars on March 20th and will be part of an incredibly close conjunction with Saturn on December 21st. See special notation below. Saturn. Saturn shines like a yellowish-white star of moderate brightness. Its famous rings are only visible in a telescope. They were at their maximum tilt toward Earth in October 2017 and are now closing to our line of sight. Saturn will begin 2020 in the constellation Sagittarius the Archer, but in late March it will move into the boundaries of Capricornus the Sea Goat. Thanks to retrograde motion, however, it will turn back to the west and re-enter Sagittarius at the beginning of July. It will return to Capricornus by mid-December. Saturn will be primarily visible in the morning before dawn from January 29th to July 19th. It will be visible in the evening sky from July 20th to December 31st. Brightest in 2019, Saturn will be at its brightest between July 4th and August 9th. Saturn is at opposition to the Sun on July 20th. Saturn will appear close to Mars on March 31st. The two worlds will be virtually the same in brightness and will provide in an interesting contrast of colors, and will engage Jupiter in an incredibly close conjunction on December 21st. See special notation below. Uranus. Uranus can be glimpsed as a naked-eye object by people who are blessed with good eyesight and a clear, dark sky, as well as a forehand knowledge of exactly where to look for it. It shines at magnitude plus 5.7 and can be readily identified with good binoculars. A small telescope may reveal its tiny, greenish disk. Uranus spends all of 2020 in the constellation of Aries the Ram. It can be spotted in the evening sky from January 1st to April 8th, then shift to the morning sky from May 12th to October 30th. Uranus returns to the evening sky from October 31st to December 31st. Brightest in 2019, Uranus will be brightest from August 24th to December 31st. It will arrive at opposition to the Sun on October 31st. Neptune. Neptune spends all of 2020 in the constellation of Aquarius the Water Carrier. At a peak magnitude of plus 7.8, this bluish-hued world is only visible with good binoculars or a telescope. Neptune will be visible in the evening from Jan. 1 through February 20th, and in the morning from March 24th to September 10th. It returns to the evening sky from September 11th to December 31st. Brightest in 2019, Neptune will be at its brightest from July 16th to November 5th. It reaches opposition on September 11th. On January 27th, Venus will appear within 0.2 degrees, less than half the apparent width of the Moon, of Uranus. Venus will be 63,000 times brighter than Neptune. December 21st, the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn are in conjunction with each other on an average of once about every 20 years. When they come closest to each other, they are usually separated by about a degree or two. But this upcoming get-together between the King of the Gods and the God of Time will be something out of the ordinary, for the two worlds will appear to come exceedingly close to each other. How close? On the next clear night, check out the Big Dipper and take note of the star in the middle of the handle. That star is Mizar, and very near to it is a faint star known as Alcor. It used to serve as an eye test. If you could see it sitting next to Mizar, your vision was considered to be normal. Mizar and Alcor are separated by 12 arc minutes, but on December 21, 2020, Jupiter and Saturn will be separated by only half that distance. It will provide a rare opportunity to see both planets in the same view of a high-powered telescope. All four of Jupiter's famous Galilean satellites will also be on display, while the north face of Saturn's rings will be tilted 21.3 degrees toward Earth. On average, these two planets come as close as this about every 300 years, though the last time dates back to July 16, 1623. The only disadvantage is that you will have to look quick. The two planets will be low in the southwest sky as darkness falls and will set less than 2.5 hours after sunset. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new.